Over the last few years, I have definitely filmed quite a few videos where I test out different viral TikTok products, products that are hyped by influencers, products that are overly expensive or all over social media, and I've wanted to know if they're worth the hype, if they're worth the money, all of those good things. And throughout the course of filming those videos, I feel like there's been a lot of trial and error, there's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of lessons learned, and I know a lot of you guys have questions of sort of what happens beyond that video, like do I keep these products, do I use them frequently, you know, just as a little bit of an update. I'm just gonna be perfectly honest about all of these things and let you know what I've kept, what I've returned, what I've given away, and sort of give you another update on all of the viral products that I have tried and tested up until this point, which has been a lot. It has been a lot, I will admit. So we're gonna take it back in time to almost a year ago. We're gonna start off with a video of me testing out viral products and recipes, and the first one is the ever popular, ever viral selfie phone light. You can use this as a light on your camera as well, but it's essentially a battery-powered portable light that you can stick on the top of your iPhone, and it gives you amazing lighting no matter where you are. It lights you up in the dark. I've seen quite a few of these out and about. I've seen people use them at restaurants in the dark, which is very bold, and I respect it. And I think that if you are someone who enjoys taking pictures or especially creating content, then this is like an amazing light. And I want to say it was maybe like Alex Earl or something like that who kind of put this on the map. I'm not really sure, I don't keep up with that, but I did purchase this light and I tested it out in this video, and I can confidently say that I don't think I've used it any more times since filming it, except maybe like once. So I do still have the light. It is still like something that I want to keep and just sort of have in my little tech drawer in case I go on like a trip, or if I'm filming like a video in a less ideal lighting situation. That doesn't typically happen because I mostly film at my house in daylight, but you just never know. I actually, now that I'm recalling, I used it about like a month or two ago when I was filming a video where I was decorating my Adidas Gazelle. I was putting all these little charms and bits and pieces on my shoes, and I was like, this lighting isn't good enough, so I did whip that thing out. So I will say I have used it. Is it something that I use frequently? No, because I'm just really bad about carrying extra like accessories and things. I have purchased like extra digital cameras and little fisheye lenses and all sorts of accessories, but I'm just kind of bad. It's like more a me thing. It's not necessarily the product, but I really do think it's worth it, especially for the price. If you are looking for something to just enhance your lighting in your current setup, whether that's just taking selfies with your friends, whether you're a content creator, whether you just want to take like a fire picture, you know, I totally support it. I still stand by it. I still think it's a great option. It's very affordable, and I mean, I do still have it, so that says something. You will see that I don't still have some of these products. Next up we have, I still don't know what to call this thing. This is like a cleaning spin brush thingy. There you go. This is essentially an electric powered, like basically like an electric toothbrush, but that you can clean your house with. Does that make sense? Like, it's a large one. I do still have it. I will say since moving into this current house, we haven't used it as much because I haven't really been using my bathtub as much. That's really why I got it, was to clean my bathtub and shower. And we haven't really been here that long to do like a big deep clean, but our last place, like the shower was just really gross and it just needed to be cleaned like all the time. Not saying that this one doesn't, but you know what I'm saying. I haven't gotten it out of storage yet is what I'm trying to get at. I haven't really used it yet in this house, but I do still have it and it really does work. I will say the only like sort of issue that I ran into with that is that if you scrub your entire shower top to bottom, you either have to take like a bucket of water and then like dump the water to clean all of the soap off of the surface that you're using, or what we ended up doing was getting like a detachable shower head so that when we like, you know, scrubbed our entire shower down, we were able to just rinse it off instead of having to like maneuver some sort of weird situation to rinse everything. The only thing is sometimes it's got so much power that you're sitting there like, and it's kind of like got a mind of its own. Oh, she's got power. But it holds a charge really well. I think I've only charged it like 2 times and I've had it like a year. So I used it frequently at our old place. I've seen a bunch of different versions online and I will say I think they're probably all the same. They're probably all really similar, maybe dependent on like the attachments. I will say we used most of the attachments, especially the flat head spinning brush, the one that gets in the little corners. I do wish it was like a little more firm and it like scrubbed in the corners a little bit better. But like this is just me being picky. You know what I mean? I do think it's a really good product. We still have it. I will still use it again and I still stand by it. Okay, next up is the first product that I'm pretty sure I knew even in the video that I wasn't really feeling, and that is the Oura Ring. The Oura Ring was everywhere about a year ago. I do think since then, Apple has announced that they will be releasing a ring, I'm pretty sure, but I just don't really think that tracking that much data is necessary for me in my life. To me, it's kind of like, I don't know, that feels like none of my business. Do you know what I mean? It is essentially a ring that you wear around your finger that tracks so many different metrics about your day. It tracks your sleep, it can track your cycle, it tracks your exercise, it tracks your heart rate, if you're stressed, you know, all these different things that an Apple Watch also does, but it's just less bulky, it's more comfortable to sleep in. It is very obvious when someone has an Oura ring on. That thing is honking, man. It is huge. It was so big that I couldn't put my fingers together. Like, they were split apart. And there's like these little bulbs and nodules inside of the ring that I'm sure help measure the metrics, and I just felt them poking into me, and after wearing it for like a couple of days, it felt like it was going into my bone. I tried switching it to a different finger. I also tried switching it to a different hand, and it just, I'm a sensory overload kind of girl. So if there's just one little thing that's like poking into me and bothering me, I cannot accomplish anything else because it's going to drive me insane. So it wasn't for me. I did end up returning it. I believe I only used it for about like a week, and I think you can use it for up to 30 or 60 days before you decide if you want to get your money back. And I did end up doing that because I just felt like it was one of those things that I was just gonna have. It was gonna take up space in my house. It was gonna take up storage, and I really wasn't gonna use it long term. So I have an Apple Watch. If I'm really feeling curious about it, then maybe I'll stick that thing on while I'm doing my workouts or whatever. But I can find that with tracking data and things like that, I become a little bit obsessive, and that's totally fine. A lot of people don't feel that way, but I just became a little bit too concerned with like the metrics on my phone instead of like living my day-to-day life, you know? And it was also just really physically uncomfortable. So unfortunately, I did not keep that. I did return it. I don't return a whole lot of these products, but this one I just felt like it was so expensive. I was like, I need my money back. And you know, a lot of people really love their Oura ring, so don't listen to me. I'm just one opinion, but it wasn't my thing. Next up we have the hot roller brush, hot curler brush, curling iron brush. I'm not exactly which name that it goes by exactly, like I don't know her government name, but the one that I got was by the K&K brand. I got it on Amazon. It was pretty pricey. These brushes have been around forever. I remember the Conair ones in high school, and it's just essentially like a brush that has a little curling iron built into it. You just sort of take a little section and you run it through your hair, and it definitely curls your ends if you want that sort of like bumped ends kind of look. I think that's great for you, and especially earlier in the year when I had more of like a layered haircut and my bangs were shorter, I was much more into that sort of like faux blowout look. But now that my hair is getting longer, I'm much more into like the beach waves again, and I'm not really gravitating towards it as much, but I do still have it. And I do still use it. I want to say the most recent time I used it was like 2 weeks ago or something. So I do pull it out from time to time and just like throw a couple little waves in my hair or whatever, especially if my hair has been straight and then like I sleep on it and I wake up and it's kind of like crickety and kinky. I have a weird hair texture. It's somewhere in between straight and wavy, but like neither or. So it's like has to be an intentional thing where I blow dry my hair and then do that. And so it's just like kind of more effort than I'm willing to put in most of the time. But I will say it does make your hair look really cute, and it does the same thing that like a Dyson would. So if you're on the market for like a Dyson Airwrap because you want that like bouncy blowout type of look, it's not exactly the same, but it is definitely a better option for you to use a brush like this, even though it is more heat, so keep that in mind. But I also recommend searching all over the place and seeing what you find from different brands for different prices, because I don't really feel like this particular brush was worth the price. I feel like you can find it for much cheaper, but I do still have it and I do still use it. Next up we have probably one of the most frustrating items in this entire video, and that is the crisscross desk chair. I have such a love-hate relationship with that thing. I am such a crisscross girl, like till the day I die. I just love having my legs crossed. That's how I prefer sitting. And so when I saw this going around on the internet, I was like, oh, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. I bought it immediately, and in theory it's a wonderful thing, but I don't know if it was just the particular brand that I bought or what it is, but this chair was so squeaky every time I move. I tried everything. I bought like a specific type of oil that was recommended on Reddit to like put in all the nooks and crannies and the screws and the levers. I tried lowering it, I tried bringing it up, I tried loosening the screws, I tried tightening the screws. I tried everything, essentially pulling the whole thing apart and putting it back together, and I don't know what it is. There's just something in that chair that squeaks. I love the chair so much. I love the comfort of the chair, but the actual design of it is so frustrating and it makes me really mad. So I do still have it and I do still use it, But I found that now, instead of sitting at my desk using my desktop computer, I am more inclined to just sit on the couch downstairs and use my laptop because it's not squeaky and it's a little bit more comfortable. So do with that info what you will. I went to the reviews on this specific chair on Amazon and no one said anything about it squeaking. So I don't know if I just got a lemon or what it is, but yeah. It's not my favorite thing in the world. I will probably end up parting ways with it at some point and trying a different one because it just was, the squeak is driving me insane. Can you tell? Alright, next up I tested out a couple of viral product dupes, and this video was really fun because it's a little bit different than just testing out the products. It's like testing out a more affordable version of the products. I decided to do a couple random things, the first being a dupe for a really popular lipstick, actually my favorite lipstick, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick, and there's a L'Oreal lippy that's a little bit similar that a lot of people were saying was an exact dupe. It wasn't, if you missed that video. I literally just used it the other day when I was on Alexa's birthday trip a few days ago, and I like the color of it, but I hate the way it smells. It has such an artificial lipstick smell. I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of plasticky, and the Charlotte Tilbury smell is just so luxurious. It's like got a hint of vanilla to it, and it's so beautiful. And so for the color payoff, I guess it's similar, even though the L'Oreal one is like much lighter, and I covered this in the video obviously, but just as a recap. The color is similar. It's a little bit lighter though, and honestly, like I don't really reach for it that much. I keep it in my travel bag just because I'm trying to use what I have. I'm trying not to like ever throw anything away unless it's like gone bad or it's, you know, rancid or something, but I've been trying to make my way through it. It's just not my favorite smell, and I don't like the way it feels and like smells on my lips and then tastes. So I do still have it, but it's not my favorite thing. It's just kind of okay. Another dupe that I tested out was a dupe for the Stanley Cup. It's a simple modern cup, which is almost identical to the Stanley Cup. The straw was a little bit different and the lid was a little bit different, but overall it was kind of the same thing. I put my Women in STEM scientific glasses on for this one. I was testing temperatures between the two of them. I was taking equal sips throughout the day to like test the retainability of the ice, if you will. And honestly, the Simple Modern was a little bit better than the Stanley insulation wise. I feel like it kept it a few degrees cooler after a 24-hour period, and we do still have it. I will say that has gone over to Drew, so he uses that. I'm pretty sure he's using it literally right now. So we do still have it, we do still use it, and it's just a good lesson to remember that like if you want a Stanley Cup, go for it, but there are really affordable, I mean I guess not that much more affordable, but definitely cheaper dupes out there, and there are so many different options to keep your water cold, and they're all good. You know what I mean? They're all kind of the same thing. They're all built out of the same materials. Some of them just have fancier lids or straws or accessories or colors or whatever the case, but honestly I totally would recommend the Simple Modern still. The straw does suck, I will say. You might have to buy a different straw for it. The straw is just like really cheap and like not my favorite material, but the lid is a little more leak proof, and honestly it works just as well, if not a little bit better. So I do still give it my stamp of approval. I do still think it's great. I use it from time to time, but mostly just Drew uses it. And if you've been on the market for one, maybe look into the dupe, because honestly that one was pretty dang good. Another dupe that I tested was a dupe for the Skims, I believe Fits Everybody tee is what it was called, and it's just like a very interesting fabric, stretchy tee that kind of looks great on everyone, but I believe the tee is like almost $50. So I saw a lot of people on TikTok talking about a dupe on Amazon, and this was made out of the same material. People were saying it was exactly the same and it was a fraction of the price, and I did test both of them, and I will say I did return both of them. I do not have those anymore. They are not in my life. I just don't know if I was like the right person for that kind of material. I didn't really feel like it was necessary to have. I would rather just have like a cotton t-shirt or something. It was very moisture wicking. I will say the dupe itself though was not good. Like it was extremely shiny, whereas the Skims version was matte. So if we're speaking on just the dupe, yeah, that never lasted past the video. But yeah, no, neither of those survived. So unfortunately those have gone back to where they came from. Next up, for a couple other viral products that I tested, there was a eyelash comb that I was seeing everyone using for after you apply your mascara. So it's this just like really fine tooth comb. It almost kind of looked like a lice comb, low-key. Sorry to trigger anyone from childhood memories, but it's, yeah, you put it on after you do your mascara and it just lifts the clumps right out of your lashes and it makes them look longer and more sort of uniform and all of that good stuff. And honestly, I do still use it, especially because lately lately I've been using like a tubing mascara, and tubing mascaras, because of like the texture of them, they just get a little clumpy sometimes if you apply too much of it. So I do pull that thing out from time to time and just like run it over, but sometimes I feel like it's not fine enough. There are times where I have like a massive clump on my eyelashes and I'm running that thing through it a million times and it's not taking the clumps off at all, and that could just be because of the tubing mascara itself or because of the comb. But I do still have the comb and I do still use it from time to time. It is in my little medicine cabinet for when I'm getting ready, but it's not like an everyday thing. It's not the most mind-blowing spectacular thing in the entire world, but I would recommend it and I think it's good. So I still have it and I feel like that says what it needs to say. Next we have the Shaper X bodysuit, which I did think I mentioned in the video that I ended up returning. I do not have that anymore. That thing was not for me. I was so in love with it in the try-on of the video, and then out of nowhere the stomach pain just started setting in and I was like, oh no. Yeah, okay, I see why this like snatches you. In case you didn't know, that was sort of like the whole claim for that product, is that you put it on, it really kind of snatches you, it makes everything look really smooth, it makes your pants fit better, and yeah, because it's like literally sucking you in, it's like wearing a compression garment. And I have just like the world's most sensitive stomach when it comes to stuff like that. Like if anything is cutting into my stomach or is too constricting, too tight, I will get a stomach ache immediately. So that's why I don't wear a ton of jeans. I mean, these are like a really nice loose pair, but I don't wear a ton of jeans out and about or shorts because I get a stomach ache. So with this one I definitely did. I definitely got a stomach ache. I knew instantly after only wearing it for like 5-10 minutes that it wasn't gonna be for me. I tried to like wear it a little bit longer to test it out, but I was like, nah. So that one again went back. It has been returned. It's gone and out of my life for good. And last but not least is a video from recently where I tested out the walking pad / standing desk combo. And oh boy, were the girlies going feral for this combo. I mean, I think we still are, but it is a desk setup that helps you get more movement in during your workday. So instead of just sitting at a chair at your desk all day, if that's not what you want to do and you want to take little breaks and get some steps in, or if you're like me and you live in a hot climate or a cold climate and you want to be able to get a little bit of movement in without having to go outside, it's a great option. So I did purchase the most recommended versions on, I believe I got them both on Amazon, and they worked great. Like honestly, there's not much bad to say about it. It's more a me thing. It more falls on me as a user, where I do still have both of these, but I don't really use them that frequently because I'm just not super inspired to like get on a treadmill as I'm editing. And that's pretty much the only like computer work that I do with my job apart from emails is like video editing, and most of the time I just don't feel inspired to do that. So it's more a me thing. I don't think that I'm like the demographic for the walking pad standing desk, although time will tell. I could still film a video a year from now and be like, by the way, I love this thing and it's incredible. So I'm gonna hang on to it, at least for the time being, and just keep trying. But yeah, I feel like it just wasn't super easy to be consistent with, and it was kind of just like a hassle to get it set up. Because of my office in my old apartment, there was just like a lot of like outlets and things I had to configure and switch out and move around, and I had to pull it out from under the couch, the little walking pad thing, and then adjust the desk, and like that's not a lot, but for me it was just like I just want to sit in the chair and get the editing done, you know? So anyways, that is pretty much I think all of the products that I can think of that I have tested recently, from viral TikTok videos, from viral dupe videos, from influencer hyped product videos, everything in between. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can also turn on my post notifications if you want to be notified every time I post a new video. Let me know if there are any other viral products that you want to see me test out down in the comments below. I feel like another one of those videos is imminent, right? Like I'm feeling the urge. So definitely let me know down in a comment below. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sending you all of my love, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Bye.